Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku vs Gogeta Blue. The question may seem nonsensical at first, but as you dive into it and analyze all the feats and statements that Goku has during the Tournament of Power, you'll see that this question is actually quite valid. So without further ado, let's get into the video. To figure out how strong Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku is, we need to recap the Tournament of Power so that you can understand just how strong Goku got in such a short amount of time. Prior to the Tournament of Power, we know that Goku in Super Saiyan Blue is equal to Gohan due to the narrator directly stating that Gohan displayed power that rivaled Goku's. We also know that Goku at best should be equal to Golden Frieza strictly as a Super Saiyan Blue, as they were able to knock out each other, but it's implied that Frieza may have better control over his Golden form than Goku does with Super Saiyan Blue. This is because upon knocking each other out, Goku dropped right to base, whereas Frieza was still in his Golden form. But I said strictly, because Goku still has access to Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, which he was able to use to overcome the gap during his fight against Gohan. So he should be able to do the same if he's equal to Frieza in Blue. Goku also had a fight with 17, who grew tremendously strong during the decade and more than that he's been absent from the story, pushing Goku to Super Saiyan Blue, but keep in mind that both Goku and Android 17 were holding back. So it's clear that prior to entering the Tournament of Power, Goku was the strongest fighter on Team Universe 7. The Tournament of Power begins and Goku has a lot of forgettable fights, and at best he's pushed to use anywhere from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan God. The real fight begins with Goku finally confronting Jiren. Jiren at this point is still suppressed, but even then he's incredibly powerful, as he's been teased all the way back since the Zen exhibition arc. Toppo would state that there's a mortal in his universe that is not only stronger than Toppo himself, but surpasses their own god of destruction. Whis would confirm this and also state that Belmod is stronger than Beerus, but Beerus would argue that he just lost to Belmod in an arm wrestle. The way the scene is played out makes it ambiguous as to whether Beerus is actually weaker than Belmod or not. The only confirmed thing is that Beerus lost to Belmod in an arm wrestling match, but whether you want to believe Whis or Beerus is entirely up to you. This doesn't change the fact that Jiren is still above a god of destruction. Goku would fight against Jiren, who would no-sell all of his attacks in each form, and it would take Goku going Super Saiyan God for Jiren to actually start moving his finger to block the attacks. Goku would finally be able to move Jiren with Super Saiyan Blue, but Jiren is still suppressed. Despite that, he's able to no-diff Goku, who has to use Blue Kaioken to save himself from falling off the stage, and even then, just by glaring at Goku, he's able to absolutely destroy him despite using Blue Kaioken. Goku would quickly realize that he needs as much power as possible, so he decides to charge the Spirit Bomb. However, what's crazy is that Jiren lets Goku charge the Spirit Bomb to its full potential, and Goku proceeds to throw it at Jiren and uses Super Saiyan Blue to push it as hard as he can, with Jiren not even moving an inch. It gets to the point where Goku has to push to times 20 Kaioken with Super Saiyan Blue with all of his might, and although this briefly forces Jiren to push the Spirit Bomb with his hands, he simply exerts more pressure and blinks the Spirit Bomb away. Suppressed Jiren raising his power is so terrifying that it not only concerns Beerus and Whis, but Shin outright states his suppressed power is unlike anything he's ever sensed, which would include the fighters like Infinite Zamasu, Vegeta Blue, Sword of Hope Trunks, and even Goku Black with his scythe. As Goku falls into the Spirit Bomb, he literally clutches up as his life is on the line. In a desperate attempt to survive and recuperate, he is pushed to his limits and shatters through them. As everyone believes Goku is dead, the world of Void begins to shake due to his overwhelming power. Goku arrives back in the arena, an entirely different person with an entirely new form. Goku is able to absolutely slap Toppo and Dispo to the side, with his main focus being Jiren. The difference between Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 Goku's performance compared to Ultra Instinct Omen Goku is absolutely abysmal. He's actually able to hit Jiren, though he can't maintain Ultra Instinct Omen for long, and turns up the heat, going all out towards the end, but before he can land another hit on Jiren, he raises his power even higher, and actually begins to show his aura. Goku gets defeated, but the power and feeling of Ultra Instinct is still ingrained in his mind and body. Goku's goals change as he now not only wants to defeat Jiren, but he's more focused on learning about Ultra Instinct and the true limits of that power. With Kale and Khalifa fight, the beginning stages of their fight basically just consists of Goku teaching them about the Super Saiyan forms and how to grow stronger, but eventually Goku begins to outclass them and turn up the heat. As they're about to be eliminated, Kale and Khalifa use the Patora earrings to fuse into Kefla. Now, the multiplier for the Batora has always been debated, and if you want a more extensive video covering it, feel free to check my video on Batora First Fusion, but the multiplier is either Fighter 1's power multiplied with Fighter 2 power, or Fighter 1's power added together with Fighter 2's power, and multiplied tens of times as stated by Vados. Anyway, Base Kefla begins to power up and goes on to state that she can feel infinite power bubbling within her, and both God Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta agree. With Vegeta being so shook, he actually stops fighting T.O.P and is just in absolute disbelief at the power he's feeling. Keep in mind that this is not only base Kefla, but prior to them fusing, Super Saiyan 2 controlled Berserk Kale and Super Saiyan 2 Khalifa were getting absolutely mixed by God Goku, and now base Kefla's power is making both Goku and Vegeta absolutely lose their minds. This point may seem insignificant, but I'll be bringing it up later on in the video when I cover Gogeta Blue's power. She then proceeds to speed blitz God Goku and absolutely destroy him, shrugging off his attacks and calling them lame. She then grows even stronger and becomes a Super Saiyan, and her power is so incredible that Goku already has to crank up the heat and become a Super Saiyan Blue. Not even Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku can contend with Super Saiyan Kefla as he gets kicked out of the form, but keep in mind that Goku is nowhere near his full power and he's actually very fatigued. Whis would then go on to state that Super Saiyan Kefla's power rivals the Spirit Bomb created by Goku to defeat Jiren all the way back in episode 109. Once again, with his back against the wall, Goku would break through his limits and use Ultra Instinct Omen once again. He's able to evade all of Kefla's attacks, causing her to respond in kind by jumping to Super Saiyan 2. This would now make Kefla twice as strong as she was before, and prior to becoming Super Saiyan 2, she had that power to rival Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 Goku in the Spirit Bomb, and that was just as a Super Saiyan, by the way. Piccolo calls her power unbelievable and states it's possible she surpassed Goku's earlier level, which yes suggests that Super Saiyan 2 Kefla is stronger than the first time that Goku used Ultra Instinct Omen, as crazy as it sounds. She then proceeds to say she feels like she could destroy an entire universe, which isn't as crazy as you think, as Goku was already universal way back in the Battle of Gods arc. Ultra Instinct Omen Goku is able to dodge Kefla's attacks and respond with attacks of his own, but Kefla shrugs them and calls them wimpy. This may be confusing to some, as shouldn't Ultra Instinct Omen be stronger than Goku's previous forms? It's a bit complicated. Prior to Goku awakening Ultra Instinct for the third and final time, it lacked proper power. Goku's attack potency during his first and second usage of Ultra Instinct Omen was lackluster compared to forms like Blue Kaioken times 20. This is because Goku hadn't fully adjusted to Ultra Instinct yet, and needed to fight Jiren again to get a better grasp of the power. So while Goku's hacks and evasion has increased, his power is just kinda meh. You also need to remember that Goku's absolutely drained at this point and can only keep up Ultra Instinct Omen for a limited amount of time. Despite this power increase, Goku is able to become more accustomed to Ultra Instinct Omen and is able to one-shot Kefla with a point-blank Kamehameha. We later cut to episode 122 of Dragon Ball Super, and the tournament of power is finally down to Universe 7 vs Universe 11. Goku and Jiren face off, and just by powering up into Super Saiyan Blue, Goku is not only able to scare Jiren, but performs way better than he did against Jiren all the way back in episode 110 when he used Ultra Instinct Omen. This implies that Super Saiyan Blue Goku from episode 122 is above Ultra Instinct Omen Goku from episode 110 in terms of raw power, which again seems really questionable and insane, but this is Dragon Ball Super. The power progression gets even nuttier from here on out. And if you believe Ultra Instinct Omen Goku from episode 110 is stronger than current Goku, that's just fine. Jiren then powers up even further and Vegeta switches with Goku. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta is initially struggling to fight against Jiren and supports Shin's statement by saying he's never encountered energy as strong as Jiren's, despite the fact he felt the power of merged Zamasu, corrupted Zamasu, experienced his power as Vegito, Kefla's power, and even the first and second time that Goku used MUI Omen. Vegeta is still confident that he can defeat Jiren, and while you could argue Vegeta was in denial, Jiren's reactions say the opposite. For the first time, Vegeta is able to land a direct blow on Jiren, who's visibly shocked. Even his own God of Destruction Belmod is shocked that Vegeta is able to push Jiren back and forcing him to block. And do keep in mind that Vegeta is able to do this against someone he deems stronger than any opponent or individual's power he ever faced or felt up until now. Vegeta then proceeds to charge up a final flash, shocking both Goku and Belmod, with the latter being confused as to how Vegeta's power was higher than before. Previously, Belmod was talking about the potential of a Saiyan. Since Ultra Instinct should be within that conversation, you could even argue that Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta's final flash against Jiren, not only surpassed the Spirit Bomb, but even Ultra Instinct Omen Goku from episode 110. But even if you disagree again, it's fine, as once Vegeta evolves and gains Super Saiyan Blue evolution, he's definitely surpassed that Goku from episode 110. Now we can stop talking about episode 110. There's also just the blatant fact that Vegeta's performance against Jiren was far better than anything Goku has done against him thus far. And his power is so great that even Toppo is in disbelief. Yet that same Toppo wasn't phased in the slightest when Goku used Ultra Instinct Omen against Jiren. But the moment Vegeta charges up and fires a final flash, Toppo is very worried and is proven right when Jiren ends up on the ground after being forced to block the attack. However, Jiren simply gets back up, catches Vegeta off guard during his victory glow, raises his power even more and one-taps Vegeta. Jumping to episode 123, Jiren's power is being raised even higher, and even Belmod states that Jiren hasn't used this level of power in a long time, showing that Vegeta and especially Goku have grown incredibly strong in such a short amount of time, with Goku going from his Spirit Bomb blinked away to actually being able to swap hands and briefly push back Jiren alongside Vegeta. This level of Jiren far surpasses anything else shown, including the same suppressed Jiren that blinks away the Kaioken times 20 Spirit Bomb, one-tap Goku out of Omen, and one-tap Vegeta after the final flash. Yet Goku is able to power up and trade blows with this level of Jiren. However, Jiren gets serious and begins to show a hint of his true power, which is so strong that it knocks Goku back to base form. Despite the fact that Goku states he's never been hit by such a strong attack before, he's unfazed alongside Vegeta, and they both power up to their max. Goku taps into his Super Saiyan Blue times 20 Kaioken, and Vegeta breaks through his shell and unlocks Super Saiyan Blue Evolved. In terms of power and official multiplier, the directors of the DBS Anime have stated that Vegeta's limit-breaking form is equal to that of Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 Goku, so it should be a times 20 multiplier on top of Super Saiyan Blue. What's interesting is that not only does Jiren state their strikes are sharper, implying they have grown stronger than before, but even the narrator states both Goku and Vegeta have entered their limit-breaking forms, despite the fact that Ultra Instinct Omen is supposed to be Goku's limit-breaking form, which implies Goku's current power transcends the previous power he's displayed against Kefla and Jiren. So yes, if it isn't obvious by now, at this point, Super Saiyan Blue Goku has easily surpassed MUI Omen from episode 110, and arguably the second time from episode 116. Jiren doesn't show off his true power until episode 127, right after Vegeta vs Toppo. You would think that Vegeta is drained despite using all of his energy to eliminate Toppo, but he's able to jump right back into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution and fight Jiren alongside Blue Goku and Android 17. But the combined teamwork of some of the strongest fighters in Universe 7 isn't enough, and Jiren raises his power to such an incredible degree that Android 17 has to sacrifice himself just to give Goku and Vegeta a few minutes of rest. From here on out, it actually goes downhill as Vegeta buys Goku time, gets knocked out, and Vegeta gives his remaining energy to Goku. But even then, Vegeta's energy isn't enough to properly fight against Jiren, and Goku gets absolutely destroyed. Before he gets knocked out by Jiren, Goku is able to remember the sacrifices of his teammates as well as what he's fighting for, and this motivates him to push past his limits and use Ultra Instinct Omen for the third and final time. This is where Ultra Instinct Omen begins to form proper attack potency as his punches actually do damage. The longer he fights Jiren, the more accustomed he gets to Ultra Instinct, to the point where he doesn't even need any sight to fire, or basically he just can close his eyes and can literally dodge and react on command. Whis is even impressed when he notices Goku's fighting style is changing. Rather than throwing hits based on thought, he does it based on instinct. Jiren eventually raises his power even more, and Goku calmly responds. His power is so great that it literally creates a galaxy. Though this was just a visual effect to represent how large and mighty Goku's power has become, Jiren attempts to finish off Goku once and for all with his strongest attack. But Goku is not only able to cancel the attack and decrease its size, but he just nopes Jiren's attack out of existence. Jiren tries to attack Goku and finish him off, but it's wrapped at this point as Goku has broken through his limits once again and ascended to an even higher power with that of Mastered Ultra Instinct. To put it into perspective of how strong Mastered Ultra Instinct is, remember that Jiren is at bare minimum above Belmod, a god of destruction who is arguably stronger than Beerus, but this is not the manga here, of course. MUI Goku just flat out surpasses Jiren, who's consistently stated to be above the gods of destruction, and his power is so great that all of the gods stand up in awe. So, Master Ultra Instinct Goku over full power Jiren over Belmod. For the first time in ages, Jiren is against the corner. He doesn't take it well and gets reminded of his past trauma, causing him to evolve and tap into his full power. Awakened Jiren is not only able to put up a fight against Master Ultra Instinct Goku, but is actually able to overpower him and push him back. The MUI Goku is reminded of Android 17's Sacrifice, as well as all the other fighters, and is able to not only get stronger than he was when he initially tapped into Master Ultra Instinct, but he's able to evenly fight with Jiren. This only enrages Jiren more, which causes him to try and kill Goku's friends by firing at the crowd. Goku deflects this attack, and this angers him so much that he gets a rage boost whilst in Master Ultra Instinct, and utterly overpowers and surpasses Jiren, defeating him. Goku isn't able to finish Jiren off though, as his body gives out at the last moment. With the help of Android 17 and Frieza, he's able to defeat Jiren, as you know from watching Dragon Ball Super. So how strong was Goku by the end of the Tourney of Power? We know prior to ever using his full power and breaking his limits, Jiren has been stated time and time again to be at the level above the Gods of Destruction, which include Belmod and possibly Beerus, but again, not the manga. I say possible because it's iffy as to whether or not Belmod is actually stronger than Beerus, as Whis' statement could mean a number of things. You also have to realize that Beerus is literally an ever-moving goalpost. During Battle of Gods, Toriyama had an interview and stated that in terms of power, Super Saiyan God Goku would be a 6, Beerus would be a 10, Whis would be a 15. Ever since Battle of Gods, Goku has grown massively stronger to the point where his power as a Super Saiyan God against Beerus pales in comparison, and even base Goku by the Tourney of Power would slap God Goku back then. It seemed like Goku had finally surpassed Beerus by the Tourney of Power, but with the recent Dragon Ball chapters, movies, it seems like Beerus is just an ever-moving goalpost, with Toritaro even stating that Beerus is still above Goku, and it's being confirmed in the manga. While yes, the anime and manga are different, he still oversaw the anime with Toriyama, so while it's more likely that Master Ultra Instinct Goku is definitely God of Destruction level, there's just not enough solid proof to state that he's above Beerus, unless you just take every statement as face value, which in case Master Ultra Instinct Goku from the anime would definitely be above Beerus, but by the end of the Tourney of Power, Goku would be the strongest mortal within all 12 universes with the power of Master Ultra Instinct, and would be on that level of Gods of Destruction. Whether or not he surpassed Jiren isn't the main question of the video though, as it's if he can defeat Gogeta Blue, which we'll be going over right now. Since Gogeta Blue appeared in the Broly movie, which is only 2 hours long, this section won't be as long as scaling Master Ultra Instinct Goku, and I will obviously leave the timestamps as, you know, a bit long there, but I had to explain it. The Broly movie takes place not so long after the Tourney of Power, meaning all the boosts and new forms obtained by Goku and Vegeta are still theirs. The only exception is that Goku cannot use Ultra Instinct Sign or Omen, or Master Ultra Instinct at will, whereas Vegeta has access to Blue Evolution, which he can call upon at will. The main threat of this movie is Broly, who starts off by contending with base Vegeta, adapting to his power, and pushing him to use Super Saiyan. His adaptability is incredible, and is even acknowledged by a prodigy like Frieza and Vegeta himself. However, Broly's adaptation seems to have no limits initially, and eventually Vegeta has to become a Super Saiyan God to not only close the gap, but surpasses it entirely to the point where he can overwhelm and destroy Broly. Before he could kill him, however, Broly would tap into his Ikari form, and tank a punch from Super Saiyan God Vegeta, post-Tournament of Power. I'll be explaining the Ikari form a bit more in-depthly in my Saiyan Forms ranked video, but just know that the Ikari form should grant Broly a 10 times boost in power, just like going into Great Ape. God Vegeta begins to fight Broly and gets overwhelmed until Goku steps in. Now, a lot of people tend to get confused when they see base Goku fighting against Ikari Broly, who was previously putting the pressure on God Vegeta, and logically would come to the conclusion that base Goku is above God Vegeta in the Broly movie, especially when considering the director of the film, Tatsuya Nagamine, states that Goku is already coming close to the level of the Gods of Destruction, while Vegeta is furiously trying to catch up to him, end quote. While this, I don't blame you for thinking that way, as the power scaling and power cliffing in Dragon Ball Super is already crazy. The more likely argument is that Vegeta was just holding back and testing Broly's newfound power. Later on anyway, we see Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta fighting relative and keeping up with one another. And if Goku was really stronger than Vegeta, he would completely outpace and outclass him in the fight, to the point where Vegeta would just be holding Goku back, which is not the case. Goku would then continue to fight against Ikari Broly, even using Super Saiyan God and a new technique known as Godbind to freeze Broly to try and talk to him out of his rampage, which Broly just brute forces his way out of, forcing Goku to become a Super Saiyan Blue. At this point, Goku and Broly are equal, with Goku seemingly having the upper hand due to having a better battle IQ and more experience fighting actual opponents other than Broly, who's just trained by himself and fought with his father, with raw, beastly instinct kind of thing. At this point, Broly is at his limits in terms of adaptation, which annoys Frieza. In an attempt to speed up Broly's growth, he hits Paragus with a Death Beam and acts as if Paragus was hit by a Stray Blast. Broly loses control and becomes even stronger as he transforms into a Super Saiyan, making him 50 times stronger on top of his Ikari form that capped out to being equal to post-Tournament of Power Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Both Goku and Vegeta at this point are completely outclassed. And a common argument I hear from fans that they make is that Goku should have used Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and Vegeta should have used Blue Evolve to fight and defeat Broly. First off, we need to remember that Broly is 50 times stronger as a Super Saiyan, and Goku and Vegeta's multiplier in their forms are only 20 times than their blue forms. Broly would still be ahead of them by 10, and Goku wouldn't be able to maintain Kaioken for as long as Vegeta can maintain Blue Evolution. You also need to remember that Broly's adaptation is absolutely cracked. He would simply adapt to their power and grow even stronger, so fighting Broly individually was just no longer an option. This leads Goku and Vegeta to retreat and learn the fusion dance, as they don't have enough time to try and access the Potara earrings on hand, nor do they have time to contact Shin. Goku and Vegeta get the dance right on the third try, and we are finally introduced to Gogeta being canon after 23 years. Now, to understand how strong base Gogeta is, we need to remember that it's consistent within Dragon Ball material to where a base fusion, no matter if it's created by the Potara or Metamoran dance, it's usually shown to be stronger than each fusee at their strongest. This is why I told you to remember my words in regards to Kale and Khalifa. At their strongest, they were nothing compared to God Goku, and would have got eliminated if not for the Potara earrings. Base Kefla is not only able to speed blitz and do better than both Kale and Khalifa, but they push Goku to use Super Saiyan Blue. There are other examples of base fusions being absolute monsters in terms of strength and making the individual fusees look like absolute fodder, such as base Vegito in DBS Anime fighting and absolutely curb stomping Buhan, Merge Zamasu stomping both Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta at the same time, despite Goku Black getting absolutely pummeled by Vegeta and future Zamasu getting destroyed by Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Trunks individually. If you think using only Potara fusion examples is unfair, there are plenty examples with the fusion dance in Fusion Reborn. Goku by just powering up into Super Saiyan 3 shook heaven and hell, 2 universal size realms, though, as he was able to overpower base Janemba but got absolutely folded by Super Janemba, even with Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta's help, and yet Gogeta, just as a Super Saiyan, was able to no-diff Janemba and erase him from existence. Which, of course, is non-canon, so I'll also give a canon source. You also have Goku needing to become 400 times stronger than at bare minimum with Super Saiyan 3 in order to become stronger than Fat Buu, who would then get corrupted by Evil Buu and become Super Buu, who's so powerful that Goku doesn't even want to fight him. Goku would rather spend his time on Earth teaching Goten and Trunks the fusion dance, even telling Fat Buu to wait some time, as a fighter even stronger than him would emerge. And we know that he is referencing Gotenks. Gotenks would then go on to achieve Super Saiyan 3 and absolutely destroy Super Buu, and would have only lost due to the 30-minute time limit running out. So if you're wondering how does all of this relate to base Gogeta, well, not only does he stomp all of the examples I previously mentioned, but he just outright does better, way better than Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta. He deflects and outpaces Ki Blasts from Super Saiyan Broly. Those very same Ki Blasts had Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta running for their lives, and had base Frieza cowering in fear. Gogeta then becomes a Super Saiyan and absolutely destroys Super Saiyan Broly, and even though Broly grows in power and is able to land attacks on Super Gogeta, you need to remember that Gogeta is the combination of not just Goku and Vegeta in terms of strength, but battle IQ, techniques, and experience. They're literally the perfect warrior, and Broly just cannot compete. The only way he can do so is through raw power alone, but Gogeta still has far more to show. Broly and Gogeta's fight is so intense that it shatters dimensions, and Broly powers up even further and becomes a full power Super Saiyan. Sporting green hair, that may be a nod to the original Z Broly, which I did make a video on by the way with the original Z counterparts of this. Gogeta begins to initially get overwhelmed, but the moment he becomes a Super Saiyan Blue, it's just over for Broly. He doesn't land a single punch and gets destroyed by Gogeta Blue, who would have one-shot Broly with his Kamea Wave, if not for Chi Lai wishing to save Broly. But just to put it into perspective, in the span of a few hours, Broly went from Namek Saga levels of power to surpassing even Super Gogeta, which would be surpassed altogether by the full might and capabilities of Gogeta Blue. So with all that being said, who is stronger? Well, I don't think there's any room for discussion. It's really not close at all. Gogeta Blue from the Broly movie should be above Master Ultra Instinct Goku from the Tournament of Power. As of recent times, there's been a lot of debate and invalidity over Goku being above Beerus in Master Ultra Instinct due to the recent statements by Torotaro and showings in the manga, which is still canon to the story and would be the natural progression after the Broly movie, whether you like it or not. Master Ultra Instinct in terms of a multiplier is far higher than Super Saiyan Blue, but Goku on his own can't hope to defeat the fusion of himself and Vegeta at a bare minimum multiplied tens of times over, and has constantly been shown to be stronger than the Fusie's strongest form in base alone. Maybe if it was heroes, the argument would actually be in favor of Goku, as Capsule Corp Goku has multiple feats and showings that suggest Master Ultra Instinct is above Fusion. This is because base combo was equal to Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and yet Master Ultra Instinct Goku was able to absolutely destroy base combo. But Heroes is in no way, shape or form canon to official Dragon Ball, so it can't be used to support Master Ultra Instinct Goku being stronger, so in conclusion, Fusion is overpowered. Master Ultra Instinct Goku doesn't have a chance against Gogeta Blue, and it's arguable if Master Ultra Instinct Goku would even last that long, as you need to remember that Goku unlocked Master Ultra Instinct during the last 5 to 10 minutes of the Tournament of Power, and spent the remainder of the time fighting in base, and only using Super Saiyan. Gogeta Blue showed no signs of defusing, due to overusing his power, and hadn't even truly gone all out against Broly. He could have used Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, or possibly a mix with Kaioken and Blue Evolution, and who knows how strong that would be. So Gogeta Blue should take this comfortably.